Are we able? I'll call a meeting to order. I'd like to go straight to item 5.
Item 5.
Is there any objection from council?
Nope.
No.
Suggestion from some of us.
Item 5, Madam Clerk.
Item 5 relates to the item on this evening's public hearing agenda regarding the City of Coquitlam zoning amendment bylaw number 4431-2013 for 1060 Austin Avenue. The recommendation is that council give second and third readings to City of Coquitlam zoning amendment bylaw number 4431-2013.
Move the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Aspenson, second by Councillor Sikora. All in favor?
Oh, sorry.
Councillor O'Neill.
Yeah, I just had one thing to say, and it's the definition of a hero is a person who is admired for courage or noble qualities. I would have to say that what I heard at the public hearing is a good definition of Peter Meegan, who has displayed admirable courage, commitment, and noble qualities to keep persevering on this in the face of what seem to be so many obstacles. So he's my hero for the day, the week, probably the month. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hodge.
You know, these are tough. I mean, you know, I'm looking at this and some of the requirements, and you're right, Your Worship, when you said that this application came through as a development would for a new developer coming in. And the requirements here are requirements that we would place on a developer because we're looking to develop Austin Avenue into something that's great. And we have a vision for Austin Avenue. And, you know, you've been a long time business on Austin Avenue. I remember that's, you know, 1975, that's where I went when I bought my first car. I came and got my insurance from you. So, you know, you're a business that has not been treated well. I think because there's a process for doing new buildings and new development, but clearly there wasn't a process for dealing with the devastating events that took place. I was out at the fire that night. I came back the next morning, and Mayor Stewart and Councillor Reamer and myself stood out, and we saw them hosing that down. So, you know, I hope that from this we are going to see something great move forward here, and you know, you know, I feel that, as I said earlier, you learned a lot, we've learned a lot, and I think we're all going to learn something from this. And you know, last week at the UBCM we won an award for Open for Business, and tonight I don't feel that we deserve that award, at least this time. But we're going to do better. Thank you.
Councillor Rasmussen.
Well, thank you very much for coming out and holding your emotions about how you feel. I appreciate the point form letter, and that Mayor Stewart said that we're going to look into this because we truly have been, since I've been on council, wanting to streamline and make things better. I think part of the issue we have to go back to staff and talk about is that we do have a new vision for the Austin Heights, and it creates some street furniture stuff in it. And I think you got caught in between our requirements for the major development and what you as an individual person is trying to build your existing business. So I apologize for the difficulty. I think all council feels bad for what you went through. I do though think, and I want to answer somehow, I guess it does seem to me the one issue that kind of struck me is you have a fire in your building, which is terrible. The street gets closed, you can build close to the street. I just have difficulty with that bill going for homeowners. That's lost everything. If you were to ask the city to close the street to have a party and you want, I can see charging $3,500. But when it's a disaster like that, that one just we're going to have to come back to that. And, so, can I say something about that?
No. You're not allowed to now.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid there are rules of order here, and I almost had to rule your mother out of order.
But I think tonight you're going to see a quick resolution by council to pass this, and staff. Hopefully, maybe we can get this back next Monday and get you back to business, and have that whole field on Austin. That needs to be filled in there. Nice, beautiful building. Thank you.
This is one of the pioneering businesses, the community businesses, the neighborhood businesses, the family businesses that have built Coquitlam. And like Councillor Hodge, my first insurance came from, and in fact the records probably got burned up a year ago, but the first insurance policy came from this business. I think one of my sports teams when I was a kid was sponsored by this. I mean, this business has been part of our community. This family has been part of our community for so long. Gone to my church. When I stood there that night, I meant it. Is there anything I can do to help? I wish I had followed up. I take blame for that because I feel I should have followed up to find out what was happening. I think every council member here tonight, we all want our businesses to succeed. We all want our permits to be issued promptly. We all want, at the same time, we want the redevelopment of a neighborhood center that's exciting, that's vibrant. And to that end, we ask those folks to push developers and to see if we can get a park bench, see if we can get a bike rack, see if we can get a coffee shop on the main floor. We did it wrong here. It sounds like we did it wrong here, and we're going to find out how to do it better, as other council members have said. And on behalf of council, please accept our apology for what you went through, and our commitment that it's going to go better, and we're going to have you cutting a ribbon pretty soon.
I've had a hard year. Very hard.
I know you have.
I used to get my motion. I protected my mom. I didn't tell her what was going on.
And she didn't tell me either. I met her a couple of times, and she didn't say anything. So,
She doesn't know.
well, let's get moving. I see no other speakers. All in favor? All opposed? I don't think so. Motion carries unanimously. That's second and third, though. Now we've got some more work to do, but we're going to get some. We're going to get going on it. We're going to get you back in business.
The city needs to know about this because I got a bill and I phoned the city.
I'm going to break every rule. Would you mind taking the microphone here?
So you mentioned the $3,500 bill about the traffic control. So the bill says at the top, traffic control. That's all it says, and then pay $3,500. I phoned the city to say, what is this bill for? And the lady said, well, can't you read? It says $3,500. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything, but that's what she said to me. Can't you read? It says $3,500. Because I was worried about upsetting the city, I kept my mouth shut about a lot of things. We paid the $3,500, but now when I mention to my customers who I do home insurance for and business insurance, and they say, well, if my building burns down, am I going to be charged $3,500? If I have a house fire on Regan Avenue or Grover Avenue, my house burns down, do I have to pay the city $3,500? And I'd say, I don't know. I don't know why I was charged, but I can't answer your question.
Well, it's news to me, too, and I suspect all of council.
The fire chief came in to inspect that I had, what do you call it?
Fire extinguisher?
A fire extinguisher, correct. I asked him. He said, I've never heard of that. I showed him the bill. He said, I have no idea what that's about.
We will find out.
Can I get my money back?
We will find out. Well,
It's going to be one big party.
Huh? That $3,500 will pay for the Austin Avenue party.
there will be some tough questions asked, and we're going to find out.
Okay. We paid it because we didn't want to hold things up. So we just
I
paid it.
promise you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you're out of order. Thank you again for coming. We'll just pause for a moment. Thank you. She thought you were quitting 2 years ago. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Back to item 1, which are the minutes of the regular council meeting held Monday, September 23rd. The recommendation is that council approve those minutes.
Moved by Councillor Asmundson, second by Councillor Nicholson. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Item 2 are minutes of the Universal Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting held Tuesday, September 3rd, 2013. Recommendation is that council receive those minutes.
Moved by Councillor Nicholson, second by Councillor Zakor. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Item 3, also an item on this evening's public hearing agenda related to 1286 Hollybrook Street. The recommendation is that council give second, third, and fourth and final readings to zoning amendment bylaw number 4426, 2013.
Moved by Councillor O'Neill, second by Councillor Nicholson. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Item 4 relates to 1290 Hollybrook Street. The recommendation is that council give second, third, and fourth and final readings to zoning amendment bylaw number 4427, 2013.
Moved by Councillor O'Neill, second by Councillor Sikora. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Considered item 5 previously. Item 6 is City of Coquitlam zoning amendment bylaw number 4435, 2013, development permit construction value exemption limit. The recommendation is that council give second, third, and fourth and final readings to zoning amendment bylaw number 4435, 2013.
Moved by Councillor Asmundson, second by Councillor O'Neill. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Item 7, fourth and final reading of building amendment bylaw number 4424, 2013. Recommendations that council give fourth and final reading to building amendment bylaw number 4424, 2013.
Moved by Councillor Hodge, second by Councillor Nicholson. All in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously.
That concludes the items on this evening's